again, the teacher of the law of assumption, the master manifester, channel is awareness laws. So, why most people are talking about ignoring the three-dimensional world? Basically, ignoring the three-dimensional world does not mean not taking care of yourself. Ignoring the three-dimensional world does not mean not looking into your life. But what it means is ignoring the current state of things. Why? The current state of affairs that is happening in your life is based from previous thoughts and ideas that you held. In other words, what you were thinking of yesterday will be reflected today. If you yesterday were not thinking positively, the negativity will be reflected in the three-dimensional world. So if you have no knowledge or had no knowledge about the law of assumption, you're just starting out with the law of assumption, it is wise then to understand that you are a new creation with new ideas from a new self-concept, creating a new experience. Then you will begin to ignore that which is being brought forth by the experience that you had from your old self-image. So in other words, the things that you no longer relate with, you have to ignore. The things that you no longer want to be part of, you have to ignore, because now you understand that you only get what you focus your attention on. In other words, you get what you are aware of, and you recreate everything that you keep focusing on. So if you don't want anything anymore, stop focusing on that thing. That is what it means by ignoring the three-dimensional world. It means ignoring the things that are not in the favor of the new person that you are being, out of the understanding that it is from the old self-image. So another reason for you to ignore the three-dimensional world, or what it means to ignore the three-dimensional world. What it means is to shift your state of awareness or focus into the matters of interest, or into your assumptive reality, or into the version of the person that you are newly being, or that you are currently creating or see yourself as. So you have to, it's about shifting your focus. You no longer looking at that, like I just previously said. So you transcend the attachment to the three-dimensional world. You have to stop being attached to the things that are happening in the three-dimensional world, because they are other aspects of your being that are not limited. The three-dimensional world itself is limited to the previous thoughts that you have been thinking. And in order for you to change that, you have to tap into a higher state of consciousness. You have to not limit yourself to the physical reality, because it is the gross material concept of being. It is not from the inception of the invisible creative blueprint of being. In other words, higher states of consciousness is what your focus should be on. Higher states of awareness, higher states of being should what your focus should be on, because the three-dimensional world will only be reflecting what has been pondered on. And if it has not been a higher state of consciousness, it will be reflecting a lower state or a lower vibrational state of consciousness. In other words, a limited perception of being. So the three-dimensional world itself, it's a limited, elusive world of separation. In other words, it's the three-dimensional world is based on the thoughts, emotions, and the intentions. And there's an illusion of separation in the three-dimensional world. There is this illusion that you are separate from everyone. So in the higher states of consciousness, you understand that everyone is you pushed out. So there is no reason now for you to focus on the three-dimensional world, based on the fact that there is separation. There's the illusion of separation. There's limitation. But in the inner world, there is unlimited potential, and there is unity, and there is no separation. So you have to understand that creation itself is created by what you focus on. In other words, focusing in your inner world, which is your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions, will shape your reality. That is what you are supposed to be focusing on to change your life in the three-dimensional world. So you have to only take into account what is favoring your assumption, your new thought, your new feeling, your new intentions. So one of the tips that you can use, or tools for transcending the three-dimensional world, is the use of imagination, which is a very powerful tool to create new realities, especially if you are able to get into an imaginative state and then you feel that state to be real, using your mind combined with the feeling of the sensory factors through your imagination. You have to also have the ability, when you ignore the three-dimensional world, to detach from external validations. Detach from always looking to validate what you want, because of the frequency of your thoughts. If your thoughts are not in a high frequency, you will only be able to see what the old self-image you have been giving out to the three-dimensional world. And one of the other benefits is, the first benefit is the imagination, detaching from external validations, and also freedom from negative emotions. When you shift your attention away from the three-dimensional world, you are able to go into the inner world, and you are able to imagine higher states of emotions that are positive, and then you are able to change your world. So you have to be mindful, you have to meditate, you have to imagine your scenes through visualization, and you have to let go of attachments to outcomes and cultivate awareness, constantly looking at your thoughts, emotions, and your intentions will then create a relationship that you are having in the inner world, of course, which will be affected in the outer world. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed that one. Have a blessed day.